Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramahansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is How to Make Life Worth Living, and was delivered in San Diego, California on August 30th, 1955.
Subject this morning is how to make life worth living. Once in a while it becomes a bore, sometimes quite often. So there's something wrong. Something wrong, we've got to do something about it, so that life will be full of enthusiasm, exuberance, power. There's no reason why it shouldn't be that way, except something is preventing it. Something's preventing our feeling, our oneness with God. Now, if you will look back in your early life, you will remember how full of pep you were, so to speak, and joyful. You felt the freshness of the Spirit. When you were quite small, there was that exuberance. Life seemed worth living. Now, why was that? There's a reason for it, even though that has departed. There was one time in our early life when we felt good. We felt the presence of God. We felt like doing things. Life was worth living. Why was it? Because we were fresh from God. We were fresh from the Spirit, feeling, bringing with us His great joy and bliss. In ordinary sleep, when you have a good sound sleep, when you wake up in the morning, you will feel a little of that. You will feel a little of it until in comes all the trouble. You will feel that joy, sometimes just a little bit, but it's there. Why? Because the life force has been withdrawn from our senses, bodily parts, and especially the involuntary nerves. And they have had a chance to rest, the heart, the lungs, and the involuntary organs. They've had a chance to rest and we feel good. Now, when we pass away and die, then all the life force is completely withdrawn from the senses, organs, and involuntary nerves. And we have complete rest. Complete rest, and we pass into God's presence. What is God? Ever-conscious, blissful, eternal existence. We are in that joy, perhaps unconsciously, but nevertheless the soul is once more recharged with the presence of God. And when we come back, in early life, we feel that. We feel wonderfully. And we have the pep, we have the enthusiasm, we are fresh from spirit. That is why. And then in comes, I've called him King Karma, to exact his pound of flesh. You cannot escape from the karma that you have laid up. And so, just shortly, not too long as you begin to grow up a little bit, in come the impulses that you have brought over. They begin to crowd in upon you in adolescence, youth, until finally in old age you have the whole bunch all at once, it seems. But those are the effect of karma that you have laid up. You grow up a little bit, and you begin to do just the normal little things of life. You go to a party or something, about high school age, and you're looking around, and suddenly you see someone, and the beam goes from her eyes to yours and back and forth, and first thing you know, you're in love. And you're just as, you might say, then you're finished, as far as that goes. In other words, these things are natural. They're there. Why not face them? Because God has suggested real strongly through the law of karma that these things go on, that his play may go on. And of course, with that union, unless you have the intuition to see that both can go to God, that's what it's for, unless you see that, then you have a lot of confusion and trouble and things which keep you from realizing your oneness with God. That's all. That's all there is to it. But God has suggested it very strong, and so it keeps us from feeling that joy of soul consciousness. But remember, Larry DeMarcia said that in spite of all these troubles of earthly life and family ties, one can remain unattached like the lotus in the pond. So there's no excuse, no matter how hard it is, we can rise above it and feel the joy of soul consciousness, and then, and only then, will life be worth living. So we must make the effort. Otherwise, when the end of life comes, or even you don't have to wait till the end, there's nothing but hopelessness, anguish. You see the ordinary people, what do they have? They're just hopeless. Anguish you see in their faces because they don't